Okay, so now we're going to be looking into an introduction into algebra. So what exactly is algebra? Algebra is basically using variables to solve equations and find unknowns. So that's basically what algebra basically is. And yeah, let's get into it. So let's start with what exactly are variables. So variables, you can kind of state variables as any letter used to represent a unknown quantity. So let's say I don't know what something is, right? Say I don't know how many something there are, or how long it takes to do something, whatever, right? These, things could be represented with a letter, and those are called variables. So variables are just letters, right? Variables, they're just letters, and they can be represented by letters like X, A, N, B, D, anything. But for a lot of problems, X is used just because it's just mathematically always good to use X, right? All right. So now what exactly happens in algebra? So I always like to think of algebra as, like a scale, right? So let's say you add something on the right side. Let's say you add something on the right side. You do +2 on the right side, right? That means you also have to add 2 on the left side to make sure your scales are balanced, right? So if I was to add 2 on the other side and subtract 2 on the other side, the scales wouldn't be balanced, right? So what I'm trying to say is that whatever you do to one side, you have to do on the other side in algebra to make sure it's balanced. So we'll be looking at what I mean by this by just looking at a general problem here. So let's say I had the equation of, let's go down here. Okay. Let's say I had x plus 2 is equal to 4. Right? So this is kind of saying some x, right? Some unknown value plus 2, right? Some unknown value plus 2 gives me the answer of 4. So let's take the color blue here. Now what I kind of need to do in algebra is something known as isolation. So I'm going to isolate for a variable. And right, so to do this, let's say I have x plus 2 on the side. So what I kind of want to do is I want to get rid of this 2 on the left side, right? I want to get rid of it. So to get rid of it on the left side, I'm going to subtract 2 away from the left side. See what I did there? I subtracted 2 to get rid of the 2 from that side. So then that 2 is going to be gone. So if I do something on the left side, I also have to do it on the right side, right? According to my balance, right? So I subtracted 2, so that means I have to subtract 2 on the right side. So whatever I do on the left side, do on the right side. So I subtract 2, so that means I subtract 2 from the right side as well. So if we do our calculations, we are left with x is equal to 2, right? Because this goes away, and our 4 here turns into 2. So now we can isolate it out, and we can kind of see that an x is actually equal to 2. And we can check this because if we plug x in, if we take our x and put it into the equation, right? If we put it into this equation, right, we get that 2 plus 2 is actually equal to 4, and that's a valid statement. It's correct. So therefore, x value is equal to 2. Okay, so let's now let's do a little bit more of a difficult question involving more steps. So let's say we had, for example, 3x plus 4, right? Is equal to 17 plus 2. Okay, so this is my question. 3x plus 4 is equal to 17 plus 2. So first thing I want to do, I want to simplify it as much as possible. So I can actually do 17 plus 2 on the right hand side. So I can simplify it as 3x plus 4 is equal to what's 17 plus 2? 18, 19. So it's 19. Now I'm left with this, right? I'm left with 3x plus 4 is equal to 19. Now, just like I did before, right, according to my scale, right, just like I did before, I have a plus 4 here. So to get rid of the plus 4, I'm going to subtract 4 from the left side. If I subtract 4 from the left side, I subtract 4 from the right side. So it becomes 3x plus 4 minus 4 is equal to 19 minus 4. So what's left is 3x is equal to 19 minus 4, which is nope, not 13, 18 says 15, okay? So now we have this. Now, how do we isolate for our x value? Interesting, this is a little bit complicated. I have a 3, I have a number in front of my x. How can I get rid of that? So what does this 3x mean? It just means 3 multiplied by x. That's what that means, right? It's just 3 multiplied by a value of x. So, to get rid of it, what's the opposite of multiplication? It's division, right? So, we have to perform division in this case. So, how do I get rid of the 3? All I have to do is divide this by 3 and divide that by 3. So, what are my steps here? According to my scale, I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. Divide by 3 here, and divide by 3 on that side, right? So let's divide by 3 on both sides. So 3x over 3 is equal to 15 over 3. And therefore, if we do our calculations, our 3's cancel out. There's no more 3 anymore. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Alright, therefore, our answer is 5. And we can check, actually. We can do 3 times 5 plus 4. Is that equal to 19? That's 15 plus 4. And that is correct. So therefore, our answer is 5. And that's basically an introduction into simple algebra. That's all for this.